All right. All right. Well, Mr. Paul, appreciate you hopping on and being willing to do this interview call with you and everything. So
Yes, sir.
for everyone who's going to be watching, I just want to introduce Brother Paul real quick. I've done a previous call with him a while back, but he's got some new things going on that the Lord's been using him to do. So Paul is the founder of Digital Mission Display. They help churches get connected with their missionaries to where missionaries can be connected with their churches and churches can be connected with their missionaries. They just came out recently, and I'm going to let him give more details on it. But they came out recently with a platform called Missions Connect, and it's basically a platform that it also allows for a digital mission display kind of in their church, like you see behind him, which you might know, some of y'all might know Brother Paul for. But this new platform is also a mobile app on your phone to where churches can connect with missionaries and church members can even connect with missionaries through this mobile app, which is to me super, super awesome. And so we're doing this interview call to learn more about that and for churches to be able to learn more about this mobile app that they can actually have and their church members can have that can actually connect with their missionaries. And don't get me wrong, missionary letters are great. They've served a purpose, but 9 out of 10 times it's very difficult to keep up with missionary letters. Very difficult for church members to be able to all see their missionary letters. And when you read them from the services, you can do that as well. But the mobile app piece to me is so very powerful. So, did I explain all that pretty good, Paul? And if so, if there's some things you want to add, and then I'm going to start asking you some questions about this mobile app that for people to be able to learn about this thing and how it can benefit their church. But did I explain that pretty good?
Pretty well. The software is called Missionary Connect, and it's missionaryconnect.app, missionaryconnect.app. And yes, digital missions display from the heart was founded to connect members to missionaries. That's been my goal, and that's what God put in my heart many, many years ago. He planted that in my heart after my COVID experience and being intubated and in a coma for 63 days. Woke up paralyzed, and God really burdened my heart for missions. And I just said, How am I going to do this? So He gave me that ability to walk and talk and get back to work, and just kept pounding my heart with, what are you going to do with mission display? So in 2023, I completely surrendered to missions, quit my job, sold our house in Michigan, and moved to South Carolina to be in the Bible Belt to try to get into churches and explain what we're doing with mission display. So digital missions display is our ministry. MissionaryConnect.app is the software that powers the mission display.
Beautiful. So the Missionary Connect app. So this is what I really want to talk about. I really want to now. I know y'all set up the screens in the churches where they can actually see these displays on their church walls, similar to the one behind you. And I that's great. And we might talk about that some. But what I really want to focus on is the mobile app piece because to me, that's what really fascinates me to where church members can actually have log into a mobile app on their phone really easily and see all of the churches, their church's missionaries, and actually read their prayer letters or look up things concerning those missionaries in there. So with this mobile app here, I'm going to drill you with a couple questions on it. So first,
Sure.
and this is just my mind as a pastor, what I would like to know because I'm kind of asking you questions. I'm interviewing you for this mobile app for our church. So in my
Yeah,
mind, when
great.
it comes to this mobile app piece that church members can download to their phone, they can search up their church, I believe, and then they can request to log in to their church's information. Is that how that works?
So, sort of. Number one, it's not an app that you can download from like the App Store or Google Play. It's a web app. So, web apps are built on typically private servers. So, ours is on a private, secure server, missionaryconnect.app. Anyone can go to missionaryconnect.app and register. They can register for free, missionaries and members. Even church leaders can register for free. Then, if their church is using our software, if they're subscribed to Missionary Connect, they can search for that church, they can request to join, and then once the church approves them as a joined member, this is all security features, then they can see all of their missionaries that are not in restricted countries. So we do not display any restricted missionaries whatsoever on anybody's personal devices. But yes, they can do all of what you just said, read their profile, visit links, watch video, read their prayer letter, anything that the missionary has posted in their profile. Yes.
Beautiful. Awesome. So they can post in there. Is there, and this is all curiosity, and this might stuff that might come later. So the missionary can post. Can they post videos on there explaining what's going
Yes,
on? And so the
yes,
church members can watch the videos and be updated
yes,
on the missions. Perfect. And so, like, let's say the pastor, let's say he wants to, let's say he has screens on the stage. Let's say he says, "Hey, we want to hear. I want to show everybody a new video from our missionary in Taiwan," and they pull up on the screen. They pull up the Missionary Connect app platform, and they can actually play the video on these screens from the platform, and obviously on the board. Like if they have a missionary board in their church, the church members can actually scroll through there themselves and look at all the information. Is that correct?
correct.
Some awesome.
Yes, you can. So you can cast or you can log in. You can put the Missionary Connect app on any device that has a browser. So, for example, in the sound booth, your guys go in and they go to our website and they cast that to the screens in the front of the church in the sanctuary. And then you not only can you see the map of where your missionaries are, like behind me, but we also have a spinning globe. So they can see this globe spinning in their sanctuary. They can click on, and now this is because they're casting it to a screen. They can use a mouse to click on it, but it's designed for touch screen. So tablets, computers, anything with a touch screen, it works most effectively on, but it works on every device with a browser. So
Yeah.
to answer your question, yes.
So beautiful. So for anybody watching, this screen that he has behind him, one of the big things he does is he'll put these boards in churches, like in their, whether it's in their hallway or wherever they want it, where their church members can pass by this board and actually see this world with all these pop-ups showing where their missionaries are. They can click on the missionaries' names, yep, and see, and it pulls up each missionary. And I'm guessing you can just click on one of those missionary families and it pulls up, yep, and it pulls up their information, pulls up their last prayer letter details, and it can pull up even videos that they've just posted recently that people can watch. Literally, your church members can just watch these from the hallway to learn about their missionaries that your church supports. So it really inspires people in missions where they can see stuff like this and have so quick access to this stuff. So one question I have on this is, can they give donations from this thing to these missionaries directly?
Yeah, so yes, we don't have money, but we have the ability, or the church has the ability to add a link. So the software creates QR codes automatically. So any outbound link that you add to the software will create a QR code that when they look at their profile, they can see the QR code. It may say giving. You can label it whatever you like. They scan the QR code, and then they can give right from their own device.
Okay.
Yes.
So you can have a QR code in there where they can literally just scan it, it pulls it up, they can give from their own device. That's pretty
Correct.
neat.
Any link, yeah, any link on the web. It's yeah, very
Yeah, so
powerful.
church members can give directly to the missionaries from it. Yeah, that's pretty cool. I like that. I'm trying to think.
Yeah, and another thing that churches ask me is if they can use like their Tithely accounts or things like that. So if you've set up a giving service, a software as a service for giving, and you have basically a URL for every single missionary, then you can do that. Or if you've created drop downs, they scan that QR code, they go to your Tithely or whatever account, and then they choose the missionary and send from there. So it's not the Missionary Connect does not process money. We
For sure.
provide a vehicle for you to scan a QR code and then use your own software, your own. Yeah,
Yeah, so you would have a payment processor on the back
yeah.
end. Even,
There you
and
go.
I'd imagine, and churches don't have to do this. I'd imagine the church could connect their payment processor, Stripe, Tithely, anything like that. Or if they wanted to have the missionary have their own direct PayPal or something connected to the QR code or something, I imagine that's possible if they wanted to.
100%. Yes,
Yeah,
100%. Yeah,
where they can just give directly to the missionary and it not even flow through the church if they
yeah.
wanted to. Hmm,
Right.
interesting. What about chat? Did they have any kind, is there any feature in there where you can actually send a message to the missionary and they can message back?
So there's posts. So we don't have a chat feature, but you can like if you have a free account as a member or a free account as a missionary, you can create posts. You can add images. You can do that type of thing. We are actively working on a notification system so that when somebody does make a post, if you want to get a notification, you'll be able to get that also.
Sweet. So like in there, like let's say Sally in my church is on their mission board and she types in praying for you or something, it can be like a post and just that missionary sees it, or does every missionary see it? How's that work?
So yeah, it doesn't work like that. So the
Okay.
post would be basically your own. So Sally has her own Missionary Connect profile. She posts something to it. Now, if your church wants to do something like that, like the church itself has a post to do and they want to notify, it snowed and the church is closed and everybody can get that notification in their Missionary Connect app profile, you could do that. But the
Yeah.
whole we're not trying to take over any kind of chat type thing. What we want to do is we really want missions to be the focus and not so much, he said, she said, things like that are just, back and forth type things. If you make a post, then you can share that post. Other than that, it's
Yeah.
it's not designed to be a chat feature.
Okay. Perfect. So give us some more stuff. What are some more details as far as Missions Connect, how churches are using it?
So Missionary Connect has three different ways of looking at your missionary. So you have the spinning globe that you can pinch and zoom on. It really gets folks, kids especially, we're trying to get the younger generation into the missions, faith promise, all of that type of, thought process. Because when I go into churches, a lot of times, most of the time, when I ask them how many people know how many missionaries you support, no one can raise their hand. A few can. Do you know any of the missionaries' names? No. So what we're trying to do is trying to bridge that gap, and with the youth being so uh, display oriented and device oriented, this is trying to make an effort to get them connected. So you go up to the globe. Maybe you have a class, and your church has a school, and you have a class, and you take your class over to the mission display. You can show the kids where all the stories of the Bible happen, the trails, Paul's journeys, all of those things right on a globe that's spinning, and then you can click on missionaries in those areas to explain to people, what's going on in the mission field there compared to 2,000 years ago. The second map is the flat map behind me. So that gives you like a 10,000-foot view of, what your missions program globally looks like. And then that third view is your missionary card list. So all of the missionaries that you support are listed right on the screen. You can scroll through them. You can pray for them by name, by country, and then of course click on their profile. Now, I do want to mention that if you're a subscriber, if you're a church subscriber to Missionary Connect app, and you have the software running in the church, there's a feature where you can tap a QR code in our icon bank at the top, and that opens up a modal where you can scan now a QR code that will register you directly to your church. So now you don't even have to like create a profile. You just scan that. It opens up the app, and then you just go through a couple of steps to get registered to your church, and then you have access to anything that the missionaries post.
Yeah. Yeah, that's neat. So when it comes to and we'll get into the financial piece as well in a minute. I'd like to ask you that because
Sure,
everybody's always already going to ask that. That's like the main
absolutely.
question anywhere. She's like, "Well, what's
Right.
it cost?" So we'll
How
cover that.
much?
Yeah. What does the setup look like? Like how hard is it to get this set up in the church? Number one, let's say they wanted to get a board put in their church, a missionary display, a digital mission display board, kind of like you have. And I know you have different sizes, tall ones, bigger ones.
Sure.
And so, like, what's the setup look like? Like, how long does it take to get it set up? How long does it take for the church to get set up on in the software with their missionaries all pulled over and stuff like that?
Okay, so just right out of the gate, I did 30 missionaries in an hour and a half the other day. So it's super easy to get the missionaries onboarded and displaying on the Missionary Connect app. Now, if you were to buy a complete package, a digital missions display package, it's basically if you can hang a TV, a heavy monitor, it's touchscreen, so it's a little more robust, it's professional quality. Hang that on the wall and plug it in. There's a couple of steps to get through the operating system, but it's actually super simple, and it takes maybe 5 minutes to get everything up and running once it's on the wall. But before you get the equipment, you can register and subscribe to the software and start adding your missionaries right away. Like the day that you subscribe, you can start adding missionaries so that when you do get the equipment, you hang it on the wall, you log into your account, and everything's right there ready to go. So not very difficult. There are some more difficult and time-consuming pieces of software out there that you have to transfer information from one computer to another and log in remotely and things like that. I wanted to eliminate that with Missionary Connect. So this software you can literally update from any device. And once it's updated, it's instantly accessible. So if somebody was standing in the church and they updated a letter, or they were at home and they updated a letter, a missionary, as soon as you touch that board, that letter is available. The church just has to turn it on, show it on the map, and it's viewable. So
And just so everybody knows, this is a new software. Missionary Connect is a new software platform. This, if you've seen
yes.
anything like this in the past, it is this is different. This is a new software platform that they've just released and developed. So when it comes to let's see, good question. I just had a question when you were talking, and I said that, and I just literally lost the question.
Oh, I hate when I
Oh,
do
we were
that.
talking about setup. So how does this work with the missionary? So does somebody from the church reach out to the missionary? Do y'all reach out? How does that work to show the missionary, hey, this is where you're now going to upload your stuff at? How's that work?
Yeah, that's a great question. So the missionary has three different ways of doing that. So number one, they can go to missionaryconnect.app and they can just create a profile and start adding content to it. If a church is subscribed and they're one of their supporting churches, those churches, all they have to do is add them as a missionary. So it's just two lines. You add missionary, put their name and their email in there. If they're already in our system, it'll say send this link to invite them. If they're not in the system, then it'll just create them. And then you can send them a link with inside the app. It's just a button that says, claim listing or claim, your profile. And that email goes to the missionary. They have a 3 or 4 step process, just letting us know, are they a missionary? Are they a pastor? Are they a member? That kind of thing. And it's super easy. I've had several dozen missionaries tell me that it's so easy to do. They're excited about updating their information because it's not complicated. It's just a matter of, a couple clicks. You log in 2 clicks and your prayer letter is on every single church that is subscribed to Missionary Connect.
So this is almost like this, and it's just crossing. So this is almost like a database of
It is.
missionaries. Like a missionary can create their own account, upload their stuff, and not even have any supporting churches, but they can have a missionary profile in your thing, correct? And just have like
That's correct.
promoting stuff, and a church could see their profile and support them if they wanted to. Is that kind of?
If they, well, we don't have open doors to their content. So
Oh,
on
okay,
a
so they have to
security
send them a
standpoint,
link to request access.
so the person looking for the missionary has to be sponsored. So they have to have joined a church that the missionary is supported by. So we don't let, this is not indexed by Google. It's not on any searches. It's a private, secure server. So unless you have joined, first you register, then you find your church, then you join, and then the church says, yes, you can see our missionaries. Those are the 4 levels of security that we intentionally put in so that not just any content is out there. Because people make mistakes all the time, brother. Churches put missionaries in Israel or in Egypt on their website accidentally, and we search for those things and try to make sure that they're not doing those. But that's something we wanted to avoid, is any searchable content. So
For sure. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I was just curious. The way you were explaining, I was thinking, I was like, so missionaries can create their own profiles, but the churches can't actually see their profiles. The missionary has to actually send them a link, or the church has to send the missionary a link for them to approve, and then they're connected and they can see them and everything.
yes, it's because it's so private, because
I
it's not,
see.
a Facebook for missions. It's a
Yeah.
private, secure server.
That's what I was
So
starting to think. I was like, is this like
yeah,
a Facebook public kind of thing where any missionary can create
no,
a profile? Okay, that makes more sense. All right, that's
yeah,
what I thought it was at first. But then when you mentioned that about any missionary creating profiles, that's what it got me thinking. I'm like, okay, so is this like a, all right, so that makes sense. So that makes more sense. That makes better sense, you know?
yeah. There's websites out there that can update their profile too, and then pastors can search for missionaries in different countries and things like that that I'm aware of. And we hope to partner with those so that we can, get the data moving back and forth so that all of the missionaries, my heart and what God put on my heart was to create the largest, most secure missionary database on the planet. And it's a big chunk, it's like, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. So one bite at a time, we are trying to get to build out a platform that we can share with API with the permission of with the missionaries, and let them be able to just say, okay, can you send my information to this mission board? Can you send my information to this search engine board? That kind of thing. If they give us that permission, then yes, we have that door is open. And that's definitely part of the platform.
Neat. Yeah, that's pretty interesting. So let's talk about the programs, financially wise. What does this look like for a church financially? I know you got a couple different packages of how this
Yeah,
software works. So tell us about it. Tell us about the financial piece, and what it kind of looks like, what's involved with it.
sure. So typically, and it's about 50-50, but I would say typically a church is going to use our basic plan. So it's $39 a month. It's $429 a year. If you go yearly, you get a free month. So it's $429. The pro version is $59 a month. And again, if you get it for a year, it's a free month. The differences between the two are we like to say 30 missionaries or less for the basic plan. 30 missionaries or more for the pro plan, but it's not written in stone. So if you have 35 missionaries and you're, not using a ton of data, or it just doesn't make sense to pay $59 a month, then that's fine. We'll work with you on that. But the great thing about the pro version, the $59 version, not only are you helping support our ministry, but now you have access to advanced analytics. So you can go into the software as a church and see who's being clicked on, how long they're spending, how many minutes they're spending reading a prayer letter or an image, or how many images are being viewed. All of these things get aggregated through an analytics funnel. So there's 15 different analytics. You can take those analytics to the pulpit, and missions starts from the pulpit. So we cannot replace missions in a church with a digital missions display. The pulpit is where mission starts. So take that information, that those analytics to the pulpit, and let your people know. We have 55 missionaries, but only 5 of them are getting views. You can encourage people to do more for missions, because ultimately, from the ground up, when my pastor first said, "Hey, Brother Douglas, can you do this?" In 2014, it was like, yeah, probably not. We ended up finding a way, and the screensaver just activated. We found a way, but my heart is to pray for missionaries. That's my deepest emotional connection to the software and this ministry, is that I truly believe that if we pray more for missionaries, we can get a lot more done on the field. And nobody will tell me any difference, because when I had that COVID experience and I was paralyzed, my wife reached out to all of the preachers and missionaries that I knew and asked them to pray. And I was told by 3 doctors at the University of Michigan that 99% of the people that went through half of what I went through with COVID didn't make it. And I attribute the recovery and all of the blessings to her. And that's what I want to get out to people is, let's start praying more for our missionaries, no matter how you do it. Even if you don't use Missionary Connect, let's start praying for our missionaries.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So perfect. So when it comes to these programs, on the compute on the like the actual programs for the software and everything, those are separate from the boards, obviously.
Right.
And we'll kind of explain that in just a minute. And by the way, if anyone is interested in any of this, as far as like signing up for it and just learning about Missionary Connect, you'll be able to find a link to do a 10-day free trial in the description of this video that we'll put in there for you. That if you wanted to sign up for it for a 10-day free trial to see what it looks like, talk to Paul, see what it looks like connected for your church, you can find that in the description. But when it
Yes, sir.
comes to the actual boards itself, what does that look like? And I know they can sign up for the software apart from the boards and buy the boards later. But if they wanted to actually have a huge display board, so the software is for just connection. Church members can log into it, see all their missionaries, everything right from their phone, browser on their app. They can log into it, see their missionaries from their phone. So you don't need a board in your church to use Missionary Connect and for your church members to use it for it to be valuable. But if you wanted a display board, kind of like in the background, actually hung in your foyer or in a hallway somewhere where your missionary prayer letters are, what does that look like? Because they would have to pay for the
Okay.
board. That's like a one-time kind of fee. What does the
Right.
board look like? What's that cost?
Yeah, so we use the latest technology. So I understand that the mission display is going to be in the church for a long time, or the hope is for it to be in the church for a long time. So we use top of the line components, and a missionary display board is an interactive touch screen. So we currently use a supplier in Georgia that makes their own displays, and they take care of all of our tech support, all of that stuff. But a mission display package doesn't include just the software, or doesn't include just the hardware. A mission display package doesn't include just the hardware. It includes our support and the digital missions display ministry. So when you connect with us, when you partner with us, we're also partnering with you on a level where if your missionaries need help navigating the digital landscape, if they need help with a prayer letter design, if they are struggling with making their prayer letter from a document file to a PDF and sharing that, anything prayer card, if they need a prayer card design, we're there for you to help you because you're partnered with us. But a digital mission display package is $3,995 for a 65-inch touchscreen. Typically, that is less than what you would pay for it from a supplier or something like that. But it also includes a computer that is mine. So that computer is what we use to run the software. And the reason that we use the computer is so that we can put it in kiosk mode. There's a feature called kiosk mode in Windows Pro 11. And what that does is it locks the screen down so that nobody can get into the computer and only the software can run. And so that puts a level of security in where people aren't just wandering all over the place on the internet haphazardly. The 65-inch package is $39.95, and the 75-inch package is $42.95. That's a one-time investment in your missionaries. A lot of churches that I speak to will do an offering uh, several times right while I'm there at the church, and they've always been covered. Voting is typical when we're there also because people are so excited about this, and we've seen a very high rate of well, everybody that's ever voted in front of me while I was there accepted mission display as a ministry and as their source to connect members to missionaries, because it goes way beyond just us selling software or putting a screen in the church or technology. My missionary profile podcast is another feature of our ministry where I interview missionaries and do things like that to help edify and to help just people learn about missions and understand what's going on in the mission field. So to answer your question, the 65-inch is $39.95 and the 75-inch is $42.95. Of course, you'll have the software as a monthly, so it's either 39 or 59 a month.
Yeah, perfect. So 39.59 a month for the software, but the actual big nice touchscreen displays, if you want to pay for that and then with their support to help get all of it set up, the packages they have includes the displays, everything. 3,900 for the and 3,900 and something, but 3,900 basically for the 65 inch, 4,200 for the 75 inch. So
Correct.
in my mind, that's just a one-time fee. That's really nothing at all. I mean, that's not, to me, that's not a ton of money. I mean, we'll spend $3,000 for a mailer that brings in 8 visitors. So like to
Yeah,
have a
right.
one-time investment for missionaries to actually that you'll be able to have forever with a nice board in your church, with missionaries to be able to connect with your members and members connect to the missionaries is really just not that, to me it's not a huge investment. I mean, I think it's a worth the investment, but I just don't think that's, to me is a massive investment, so I think it's perfect. But and you can even sign up for the software, get your missionaries connected in there, get your members connected in there where they can actually log in from their phones and be able to connect like that, and then y'all can buy the board later, so you can use the
Right.
software without the board. The board is just a benefit if you wanted to have a nice display board in your church.
Correct.
But you can utilize the software without it. And if y'all are like, man, we do like this software, like the way it works, let's get a board set up in the church. You can always come buy that later, I'm sure.
Right, absolutely. Yeah, we've tried to make it in a modular way so that, hey, if you have a touch screen but you don't have a computer, we can get you the computer and install and configure the software on there for you and just pay a monthly fee and the cost of the computer. If you just want tech support, that comes with the software. So that $39 or $59 a month gives you access to me. Now, the $59 a month is going to give you phone support with me. I can't give phone support to everybody. But we also have a Discord server. So all of our church leaders have access to our Discord service where we give updates and change log, and just everybody can communicate inside of that server just to make the application better, because we're not here as living inside of a glass house. We really want the doors open. We want people to see inside. We want to be able to see outside. But we're not a glass house. We want visitors or we want members, missionaries, and church leaders to say, hey, what would be a great feature? Really, this is how the software was born. Was there was the original software that I use on mission displays that had feature didn't have features that I wanted to see and what I've been told need to be seen. One of the biggest ones is I've heard so many times people saying it would be so great if you had a spinning globe with all the missionaries on that. We have that. Another thing, it would be so great if we could see all of our missionaries just like on one list. We have that, the missionary card list. And then, of course, if we could get our members to be able to see our missionaries from their own device, that's a game changer. So that's where my heart is just to make sure that we have the back and forth talking of how to improve the app, and our intentions are to make this better and better and better. I mean, literally every month we're making this better since we launched it in July.
Awesome. Yeah, no, and I like that. And I love y'all's mission. And that's why we have y'all. That's why I'm interviewing you to put you on our channel because we're all about outreach, at GM Baptist Outreach, and y'all are essentially doing outreach the same way. It's just worldwide, helping churches support missionaries, reaching people with the gospel of Christ. So I think our vision's very
Thank you.
aligned
Yes.
with that. And yeah, and I like how y'all are innovating. And I will give you just my some feedback in my mind. What I would love to see with it
Yeah, please.
is if you can get it, and I think you really could. I think it would be something you would just have to. And there's a lot of softwares out there where you can actually create mobile apps now. You can
Mhm.
applications, but you can create mobile apps as well that you can download from app stores. I think
Right.
if you could get a mobile app they could download from an app store to where a church member can log into their churches to Mission Connect the same way, like literally everything
Yeah.
be laid out the same, just a mobile app they can download where they don't have to log in from the browser. It would be a awesome revolution for y'all. Like I really think that would be an awesome thing where they can download a Mission Connect app, and
Yeah.
actually
And
log into it and stuff. But that's just a thought,
right.
innovative wise, down the
No,
road.
and it's a great thought, and it's something that we hear pretty regularly, and that's one of the reasons that we built it on Laravel, because Laravel is one of those languages that you can migrate it into an app. The problem is that currently the issue, it's not a problem, it's just an issue, is that we just don't have the staff to do everything that we want to do. We have the knowledge and we have the technology, but we don't have the staff to do everything. So that's why we need churches to partner with us so we can do more for them.
Yeah.
Every update is free. So anything we do, if we launch this mobile app, we will eventually on iPhone and Google Play. But when by helping us now helps you in the future to get that going. And yeah, that's our goal. And it will happen. It's just, a
Takes
lot of
time.
irons
Yeah.
in the fire.
Yeah, it takes time and yeah, it takes resources. I mean, things ain't free. You got to pay people to
Right.
develop things, and I completely get it. Over time as God, as churches partner with y'all and support y'all. And yeah,
Yeah, and we definitely reinvest that. So just so that churches know, it's not deposit all the money in Paul's bank and we go on vacations. This ministry is for God. It's not for me. We've actually sacrificed to do what we're doing. Of course, we have the technology to do what we want to do or need to do, but like you said, it takes money to do all that. So the money that we earn typically from I mean, almost literally from the software goes right back into the software. So
yeah, for sure. Hey, I understand. Hey, we provide a
yeah,
software
yeah.
platform as well. I get it. Yeah, no, well that's awesome. Yeah, that's awesome. I love what y'all are doing. And so if you're a church, I encourage y'all to look into it more, partner with Brother Paul and them in this missionary work, helping reach the world. And again, if you want to just try Missionary Connect, you get a 10-day free trial in the description. You can literally sign up for it, 10-day free trial. And I know Brother Paul ain't planning when it comes to subscriptions. He ain't said nothing to me about it, but I know how software works and I know how the world works. One of those things that we do is like when it comes to getting signed up for stuff is if we ever increase our prices, we never increase them for our current customer base. I don't know how
Right.
that is with you, but I'm one of those people where yeah, like just keep that in mind. I mean, this, as stuff goes and stuff increases, cost increases, staff members increase stuff, prices increase for stuff. And right now, this is a new platform. I say newer. You've actually came out with it a little while now, But right now it's at its early stages when it comes to the monthly payment and stuff piece. So I'm sure over time it'll
Right,
probably. So get in with it while you can. Get that
right.
grandfathered in stuff. I always like that. So, but
Yes,
you
sir.
can
I
test
agree.
it out. 10-day free trial though. Sign up for it in the description. If you have any questions, message Brother Paul. I'm sure he'd be glad to answer you. And I know he's got a servant's heart to help churches, and so it's definitely something he'll invest time into helping teach you in any of this as far as knowledge wise. If you don't understand it, he'd be glad to explain it better to you. So
Yes, sir.
anyways, well, is there anything you want to add before you hop off?
No, I just want to be very clear on the fact that the software Missionary Connect app runs in a browser, so you can operate it on any device. You do not have to have a large touch screen. We have people that are using a computer with a mouse and letting people click on just a regular screen. So don't feel scared by a $4,000 investment. Although most folks, I can't think of anybody who came back to me and said, "This was a bad investment, Brother Douglas. Can I have my money back?" Never happened in over a decade. So we're
Yeah.
thankful for that.
For sure, and they can use the browser on their phone, so you can log in from your phone anywhere in the world as well.
Yeah,
So I mean,
that's
that's
right.
so yeah, phone or browser, and you don't have to buy the big board for sure. You can just get on the use the software as it is, and that's kind of like our software as well. I know exactly what you're talking about. You can log in anywhere in the world, any browser. It's not like something you have to download to your computer or to a certain
Right,
TV, and that's all the only place you can use it at. Like it's a cloud based, so you can log in
right.
anywhere in the world into the software and
Amen.
communicate, see your missionaries and everything. So
That's
awesome,
right.
man. Well, I've
Okay.
enjoyed it, brother. Do you
Me
have
too.
any other questions for me as far as that you want to present or not questions, but if you have anything else you want to mention to me about it or anybody else, just let
The
us know.
Yeah, the only thing that I would mention is that what God burdened my heart with over a decade ago was to get the mission display in every church. So if you're somebody that's trying to maybe earn a little bit of extra income, or you're actually really interested in getting the Missionary Connect app in every church, we have an affiliate program that I'd be happy to talk to folks about. So that's also another option. We'd love to share that with you.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and that's always a benefit. And just to be a blessing to people. I know I got a family myself, so praise God. You know, so yeah, it's one of those things where that sounds interesting. So if anybody wants to reach out to Brother Paul in regards to that of like being able to share it with others, and see what that looks like, reach out to him and ask him.
Yes, sir. Very good. Yeah, appreciate you too, bro.
Yeah, and y'all can drop a comment on this video as well, wherever you're watching it from. If you have any questions, if you drop it in the comments, our team will try and get back to you with any questions. And if we can't answer your questions, we'll pass you on to Brother Paul as far as like question wise. We'll get you his contact information and stuff. So,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
but all
All
right, y'all.
right.
Well, yeah, man. Go
Thank you
ahead.
so much for the time. I appreciate it. You have a blessed day.
Yeah, brother. You have a blessed one too. Bye bye.
All right.